And we say good morning to you. Welcome. We are live at Champion Chevrolet again on the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City, for show number 754 on this final day of the month, 2018, May 31st, 2018. Again, our countdown to Christmas at 207 days to Christmas, and our countdown to race weekend at Bristol Motor Speedway. We're 77 days away from the triple header, the UNH 200, the Truck Series, Camping World Truck Series race on Thursday night, the Food City 300 on Friday night, and of course the big one, the Bass Pro Shop NRA night race coming up on Saturday night. So 77 days away from race weekend here again in the hills of East Tennessee. Good morning to you. I'm your host, Tom Taylor. Thanks for being with us. Be sure and like us and share us as we are here again inside the studio, inside the showroom at Champion Chevrolet. We always start our show by dedicating it to the man who hung on the cross, and we unashamedly do that. This is his show, Isaiah 40. This is his life. I've turned it over to him. Isaiah 40, 28 through 31 says, I am the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. Those who hope in me will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. How about that? That is the verse of the day. That means this be a good time for me to pull this out of the old bag and go ring that bell. So thank you for being with us. We got lots to talk about. Our guests lined up ready to go today. Steve McCauley from the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Also, we have Andy Dietrich, of course, co-owner of Champion Chevrolet, going to stop by and join us here in a few minutes. Also, we have, we would welcome Carmichael back. He'll be with us today. And also Dave Angie from the News and Neighbor, talking different sports. We've got baseball coming up. We've got certainly the NBA Finals game one tonight. Do the Cavaliers have any chance at all? Everybody's saying no way, Jose. We'll see. Again, they've got four All-Stars, they being the Golden State Warriors, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and, of course, Kevin Durant. And they have, everybody says all they've got, they being the Cavaliers, is LeBron James. We'll see. It's going to be a great series. Starts tonight, game one, the National Hockey League Stanley Cup Finals, game two last night. Kind of crazy conditions in Las Vegas. Crazy from the standpoint that they had the ice began to melt, 100-degree temperatures in Las Vegas, and so the ice was less than ideal conditions. So we'll talk about that with Carmichael coming up. We've got Virginia baseball, Virginia softball, see how that happens and how that went. Also, big night last night in Major League Baseball, tell you all about that. The World Series of College Softball starts today. Of course, the NCAA Best of Three Regionals in baseball starts tomorrow. We'll talk about that. So lots going on, and, of course, on the local sports scene, we'll run down and go ahead and tell you the Coach of the Year with no question, he's Coach of the Year in my mind. Ryan Presnell named the Baseball Coach of the Year by the Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News. 48 wins in 2 years, pretty strong. And again, a state tournament appearance, the first win in a state tournament in 60 years for Elizabethton Cyclone baseball. And so, pretty impressive start, and Ryan Presnell not start. Pretty impressive 3 years of this gentleman. 66, 67 wins under his belt in 3 seasons, and the horses are back in the barn for another great run next year as well. So Presnell named the Coach of the Year, and it's a well-deserved honor to be sure. So you have today and tomorrow. That's it. You have today and tomorrow to pick your opportunity to, boom, it's just right here. There you go. You have your chance to pick, if you want to, your opportunity to get in there and enter to win 2 tickets to Dollywood. You can pick your choice to do it or not do it. That's up to you. TomTaylorSports.com/contest. We'll announce the winner on Monday, June the 4th, this coming Monday. And so all we need is your first name, last name, email address, and the town you're from. 6 states represented so far. We've got them all over Tennessee. We've got them from Virginia. Let's see, North Carolina, South Carolina, West Virginia, Texas. I think that's the 6. And, of course, most of them are here in Tennessee. Won't lie to you. But, again, a great smattering in Tennessee everywhere from Roan Mountain to Cookeville. And so in all points in between. So be sure and get in there and register. We're going to give away 2 day passes to Dollywood. You can go anytime. And so we'll give those away on Monday. Birthdays today, 2 birthdays, 2 great ones. Make my day. Clint Eastwood having a birthday today. I never guessed Clint Eastwood was 88 years old. Wow. Josie Wells, 88. Can you believe that? No, Chris McCall is stunned. Clint Eastwood is 88, and are you still scared of it? Go ahead and make my day. Oh, Chris says he and Chuck Norris can still kick his butt. There you go. It's nice to know being gone and things haven't changed. Chris is still Chris. And what was the old saying Daddy used to say? Leopard never loses spots. You is who you is. You are what you are. I am what I am. That's all I can be. That's what Papa said. So, anyway, Clint Eastwood's 88. The other birthday, Joe Namath. Can you believe this? Broadway Joe is 75 years old today. That's hard to believe. So, maybe we're just getting old, I guess. And the countdown to Christmas at 207 days from today. We'll take a quick break. We'll jump in. We've got NASCAR news. We've got baseball news. We're going to tell you about Sprint. Man, they are selling these. Goodness gracious. Sold 25 in the first week. The new iPad, 6th generation iPad, only $99 at Sprint. You're going to save yourself over $359. Since they left the show yesterday, they sold a couple of more yesterday, again in the Johnson City Sprint store and the Elizabethton Sprint store. That's the two I'm keeping track of with our dear friend Ronnie Curtis. So Sprint is moving them. And, of course, tomorrow they'll roll out the brand spanking new LG G7 ThinQ phone that has the best speaker and the brightest screen out there now in the cell phone world. So that'll roll out tomorrow. And for existing Sprint customers, they're offering a buy one, get one free for the brand new coming out tomorrow LG G7 called the ThinQ. So there you go. First break, we'll come right back. We'll jump in and roll. We'll take a look at Major League Baseball from last night, see what happened, and also we'll kind of run down what's going on. We will run down the schedule for today. Be sure and like and share the show. We appreciate that. And again, cannot thank you enough. The numbers continue to add up. We went back and counted the views on these baseball games, the Gibbs game a week ago tomorrow night, and the 4 state tournament games 2 weeks ago tomorrow night, and the state tournament games last week in Smyrna. We are up over 15,000 views now. And so, nope, I told you wrong. We're up over 13,000 views. Still pretty impressive. The response, folks are still going back and listening to those ball games, and why would you not? Because they were just great baseball games. The Gibbs game over here last 2 weeks ago Friday night with Logan Eastep with that big bottom of the 7th clutch RBI single to plate. Corey Russell to even get us to the state tournament. Then everything went on down to the state tournament. All that's there for you to listen to. And so, again, over 13,000 views. And then we went back and added every view number of every game for the entire regular season of Elizabethton baseball that we carried and covered. That is true. That is over 17,000 views and keeps climbing. So thank you, Ken. I mean, that's an old country boy, pretty humble, to be honest with you, but we are very proud of the fact that you are listening to the broadcast and continue to go back and listen, because those are those, as we say, those Kodak moments. Those are one for the ages to go back and enjoy those games. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll take a look at Major League Baseball, see what happened last night. Had some great pitching performances by a guy by the name of Kluber, a guy by the name of Severino. We'll tell you about that and get you up to date with Major League Baseball next year on our first segment on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import and Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard, the brand most recommended by pediatricians and dermatologists. Our smart bottle turns blue in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. You bring the sun, Blue Lizard brings the magic.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here are the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. We follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Welcome to the Mini Morning News Show, where we are so excited about Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis for breakfast that we've minified the news.
In real estate news, tiny homes for those who like everything within arm's reach.
In culinary news, micro food, because, small plates.
In entertainment news, this year it's all about the mini-series.
In pop culture news, mini everything.
Because, aw. All right, thanks for listening. Now go put some mini in your morning with the chicken you love for breakfast. Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis until 10:30 a.m.
Gym employee pricing, 20% off MSRP. Wow, with these savings, now's the time to purchase a new Chevy at the area's #1 Chevy dealer, Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City. 18 Silverado Crew Cab All-Stars, $11,000 off MSRP. 18 Cruisin' Malibu LT, 20% off MSRP. 18 Trax and Equinox, $6,000 off MSRP. Shop us online 24/7 and remember our Saturday parts and service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
Back with the Tom Dover Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Show number 754. We're live again. We are Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City. Hello to Connie Helms. Says, hi, Tom. Love your show. Thank you, Connie. It's very kind. Appreciate that very, very much. Ricky Walters, thank you, my friend. That's your Horseman insurance agent in Elizabethton. And then also the vivacious, the lovely, the dazzling, the delicious, whatever. Don Fisher Lambert's watching, so appreciate her as much and as well. Hey, it's the Tom Dover Sports Show. Out of curiosity here, I've not done this before, but since it's his birthday, what is your, just for saying sake, an unofficial poll, what is your favorite Clint Eastwood movie? He's having a birthday today. He's 88 years old, so just out of curiosity, I would love to know, A, do you even like the guy, and B, what's your favorite all-time favorite Clint Eastwood movie? So if you want to weigh in, I think it'd be really cool just to be something just for kicks to see who or what is the favorite movie to a lot of folks out there. So Clint Eastwood, birthday boy today, 88 years old. Baseball last night, the 2018 All-Star Game less than 7 weeks away, and so Major League Baseball announcing that fan voting for the All-Star Game starts tomorrow, June 1st, and so you can pick your favorite All-Star in either the National or the American League or both starting tomorrow. Of course, you can do that on MLB.com. Winners last night, Red Sox beat the Blue Jays 6-4, Brewers over the Cardinals 3-2, Indians 9, White Sox 1, Reds 1. Gosh, what's the world coming to? Reds won 7-4. Yankees beat the Astros 5-3. We'll talk about that one in a moment. It was the Pirates over the Cubs, a little bench clearing. We'll talk about that in a moment. They beat them 2-1. Nationals 2-0 over the Orioles. Tigers beat the Angels 6-1. Mets turned the Braves 4-1. Royals defeat the Twins in a shootout 11-8. Giants beat the Rockies 7-4. Rays 6, Oakland 0. Padres 3, Marlins 2. Also, you have the Rangers over the Mariners 7-6. The Dodgers beat the Phillies. Final there was 8-2. Three-time Cy Young Award winner Max Scherzer officially halfway to the hallowed 300-win milestone. Picked up number 150 last night. 8 dominant innings against the Orioles on Wednesday night. 8 innings, 2 hits, no runs, walked 1, struck out 12 for his 150th win of his career. Pretty impressive numbers for Max Scherzer. And so he is now 150-76 in his career with 120 strikeouts in 79 innings of baseball. That's incredible. 120 strikeouts in 79 innings of baseball for Max Scherzer. So well ahead of his pace in the last 2 years when he won the Cy Young, so he's off and running to get a third one this year as well. Hello, Bill Patrick. Thank you, my friend. We hope to have him on tomorrow on the show. Earlier this month, Yankees ace Luis Severino tossed his first career complete game shutout against the Astros at Minute Maid Park. Faced him again last night, and while he didn't pitch that well, he did hold the defending World Series champs to 2 runs in 7 innings, and so his season ERA climbed to 2.31. But he goes 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both of those earned. Walked 1, struck out 11, gave up a home run, and so one-time Yankee killer Dallas Keuchel got the start for the Astros, allowed 4 runs in 5 innings. So, again, it was the Bronx Bombers winning last night. Gary Sanchez's go-ahead 2-run single, the big blow Wednesday night in that ball game. So Yankees take 2 of 3 from the Astros in Houston earlier this month. Now they've won 2 of 3 against them in New York. That clinches the season series 5-2. So, who's to say they're not going to get back together in postseason again as they did last year? Last night's win, the Yankees now 35-17 on the season. Only the Red Sox have a better record at the moment in all of baseball. And so Yankees have won 10 out of their last 11 series, which is also a very good sign. So they've got 35 wins in the first 52 games. Some call them the Evil Empire. Some say they're a very, very good baseball team. So all I can tell you is they won last night, and they are 35-17 on the season, second best in baseball. So the Brewers have had worse months, switching to the Milwaukee Brewers, of course. They closed out May with a win over the division rival Cardinals, as we told you, improving the record to 19-7 for the month. Brew Crew has the NL's best record at 36-20, and so Milwaukee had a big win yesterday, and again they'll go into the month of June with a travel day today with the best record in baseball in the National League at 36-20. Elsewhere in baseball, are the Indians finally getting hot? Well, maybe. Playing the White Sox is a way of making teams look good. The White Sox are terrible. Indians blew the Chi Sox out for the 5th straight win Wednesday afternoon. They've outscored them 43-25 in 5 games. They're now 29-25. Corey Kluber got the start. He was marvelous, striking out 10 and 6 scoreless innings as the starter for the Indians through only 90 pitches, as manager Terry Francona opted to give his ace a bit of a breather with a big lead. So, anyway, Kluber jumped over a couple of Astros into second place in the American League ERA leaderboard. Justin Verlander leads the league in ERA, and Kluber now is second. And so, again, a good ball game yesterday for Corey Kluber. Elsewhere, earlier this week we had a mini controversy when Anthony Rizzo, we talked about this yesterday with Greg Salyer, we were at Chick-fil-A, slid in to catch Elias Diaz while trying to break up a double play ball. Well, he deviated from his path to the plate to make it happen, which is a no-no. Umpires incorrectly called it a legal slide, however, prompting Major League Baseball to issue a statement admitting that they made a mistake. Yesterday, things got heated between the Pirates and the Cubs when Joe Musgrove slid in hard at second base and made contact with Javier Baez. The two had words, and the bench is cleared, though cooler heads prevailed, so boys will be boys. He got a little worked up there yesterday between the Cubbies and the Pittsburgh Pirates. And for the first time since September 29th of 2016, top Cardinals prospect Alex Reyes, who got started in Johnson City, by the way, took them out in a Major League game. He underwent Tommy John surgery last spring and spent the last 14 months rehabbing the injury. Reyes pitched well against the Red Hot Brewers. He allowed 3 hits, 2 walks, and 4 scoreless innings, struck out 2 and threw 73 pitches in his return to the big. So Alex Reyes, who got started in Johnson City, in fact, I got a bobblehead doll of Alex Reyes from the Cardinals, Johnson City Cardinals. Again, pretty good start yesterday in his rehab for the Cardinals, the big club, of course, against the Milwaukee Brewers. So Max Scherzer, 150th win yesterday, halfway to the 300-win milestone. This guy's got 120 strikeouts in 79 innings, which is incredible. Also, Luis Severino had a big game against the Astros. He goes 7 innings, strikes out 11. And as we told you, Corey Kluber strikes out 10 as Cleveland wins their 5th straight. And so that's what's going on in Major League Baseball. Your schedule for today, first off in the American League, day games, the Angels at Detroit, Tampa Bay at Oakland. Tonight under the lights, the Yankees in Baltimore, Red Sox in Houston. That'll be an interesting series there. The top 2 teams in the AL East and the AL West will square off. Pomeranz will go for Boston, and McCullers will go for the Houston Astros. Also, you've got Cleveland at Minnesota and Texas at Seattle in the National League. In the American League. In the National League, you've got day game. Cubbies will be in New York to battle the Mets. Tonight, under the lights, Pittsburgh at St. Louis, Philadelphia against the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw back on the mound, only 1-4, trying to get it together. Washington opens up a series in Atlanta. It'll be Rourke for the Nationals, and Newcomb will go for the Bravos. 7:35 first pitch in Atlanta, and Miami will be at San Diego. I was looking at some of the box scores yesterday. The attendance is way off in Major League Baseball. Now, you may say, well, that's because it's a Wednesday night game in the middle of the week and folks are working and so on and so forth. Well, they're still playing baseball games. And so Red Sox, Blue Jays, 4,000 under a sellout. Brewers, Cardinals, 8,000 under a sellout. The Indians and White Sox, you had 17,000 there in a 35,000-seat stadium. The Reds and the Diamondbacks, I understand when nobody's watching those two teams, or at least for the Reds, they 30,000 shy of a sellout. They had 18,000 in a 48,000-seat baseball stadium. Yankees Astros last night did not sell out. That's interesting. They were 9,000 short of a sellout in New York between the Astros and the Yankees, which I think is interesting. And then Atlanta and New York, 20,000 off a sellout in Atlanta. So what does that tell you? That tells me it tells me several things, but I guess midweek game, night game, folks are working. I don't know if school's still in some of these places or not, but again, it would tell me that attendance is off in Major League Baseball, at least last night anyway. I don't know what it is for the season, but those are kind of interesting stats, to say the least. Now, for the weekend, the series will be this weekend in the American League. Yankees at Baltimore, Toronto at Detroit, Boston at Houston. That's a good one. Cleveland at Minnesota, Milwaukee at Chicago, Oakland at Kansas City, the Rangers against the Angels in Los Angeles, and Tampa Bay at Seattle. In the National League, the series will get started some today. The rest will pick up tomorrow. Cubs in New York, Washington and Atlanta, Milwaukee at Chicago, Cardinals hosting Pittsburgh. The Dodgers will be in Colorado. That's not a bad series there. Miami at Arizona, Cincinnati will take on the Padres in San Diego this weekend, and Philadelphia at San Francisco. Women's World Series softball starts today. Here we go, double elimination in Oklahoma City. Game 1 starting at noon. Oregon taking on the ladies from Arizona State. Oregon at 52-8, Arizona State at 48-11. At 2:30, the host Oklahoma Lady Boomer Sooners at 55-3, taking on Washington. He's 49-8. At 2:30, the Florida Lady Gators play the Lady Bulldogs of Georgia at 7 o'clock tonight. Florida at 55-9, Georgia at 48-11, and also the final game in the Women's World Series of college softball tonight in Oklahoma City in double elimination. UCLA's Lady Bruins at 56-5 will take on the Lady Seminoles at Florida State at 52-11. So that's what you got going on again for the Women's World Series, again at the ASA Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City, double elimination. So you have Oregon, Arizona State, Oklahoma, Washington, Florida, Georgia, UCLA, and Florida State in the softball for the NCAA Division I. Sticking with softball and baseball, you have baseball tomorrow in Chapel Hill, North Carolina A&T and North Carolina, Purdue and Houston. In Raleigh, you have Auburn, Northeastern, Army, and North Carolina State. In Greenville, North Carolina tomorrow, Lewis Field, you have the South Carolina Gamecocks and Ohio State, UNC Wilmington and East Carolina. The Clemson Regional, again, these are all best of 3. Vanderbilt, St. John's, Morehead State, and Clemson. Also, you have in Conway, South Carolina, UConn and Washington, and Long Island, Brooklyn, and Coastal Carolina. The Chanticleers, the host school. Tomorrow, also in Athens, Georgia, at the Georgia Bulldog Regional, you got Georgia and Campbell College, and Duke and Troy. At Tallahassee, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Sanford and the Seminoles of Florida State. At Alfred McKeithen Stadium in Gainesville, Jacksonville, Florida Atlantic, Columbia and the Florida Gators. In DeLand, Florida, the Stetson Hatters, the host school, taking on Hartford, and South Florida and Oklahoma State. Also tomorrow in baseball, in Minneapolis, UCLA and Gonzaga, Canisius and Minnesota, and Oxford, Mississippi. The Ole Miss Rebels hosting St. Louis, and Tennessee Tech will take on Missouri State. In Fayetteville, Arkansas tomorrow, it'll be Arkansas and Oral Roberts, Southern Miss and Dallas Baptist in the best of 3. Also in Lubbock, Texas, another regional, New Mexico State at Texas Tech. Louisville takes on Kent State. In Austin, Texas tomorrow, Indiana, the Hoosiers taking on the Aggies of Texas A&M. Texas Southern at Texas taking on the Longhorns. Hello, Renee McNeil. And then also in Oregon, it'll be LSU, San Diego State, Northwestern State at Oregon State. And then in Stanford, you have Baylor and Cal State Fullerton, and that is your matchups again going on in college baseball starting tomorrow. Tom Taylor Sports Show, we're live at Champion Chevrolet on show number 754. Tomorrow we'll be at Food City in Blountville for the $5 Friday sale. It's going to be a lot of fun, and so we'll talk all about that tomorrow, and we'll be there some great one-day specials. A $5 Friday at all Food Cities. I know that strawberry pie coming out of the deli for $5. Got my name written all over it. So probably have to pick me up one of those tomorrow when I'm there. So that'll be just one of many specials that will be. Just one of many. Just making sure. Yep, Steve's on his way. He's running a little bit late. So we'll just let Andy slide in the seat here coming up in just a few minutes as it is time to take a break and come back. So anyway, we're going to be at Food City tomorrow in Bluffville having a big time with Steve, and that'll be show number 755. Baseball out of Virginia. Let's run it down for you real quick from yesterday in the Region 2D tournament. Virginia High beat Wise Central in 9 innings, 8-7. Tazewell doubles up John Battle 4-2 and 8. So the championship is today at Boys Coxfield in Bristol. It'll be Virginia High, the Bearcats, and the Tazewell Bulldogs at 7 o'clock tonight. That'll be at Boys Coxfield in Bristol, the home of the Bristol Pirates. And the Region 1D tournament, last night in the championship, Patrick Henry beat Honaker 4-3, and that is in baseball. Now in softball in Southwest Virginia from yesterday and last night, in the Region 2D tournament, you have the championship tonight, the Lady Pioneers of Lebanon taking on Richlands at 7 o'clock at John Battlefield in Bristol, Virginia. And then in the 1D tournament championship last night, Northwood all over the Chilhowie Warriors in softball, the Lady Warriors, 16-2 the final. In girls soccer in Virginia Region 2D tournament tonight, championship, Gate City and Richlands. We'll play them in the Richlands at 7 o'clock tonight. In the Region 2D boys soccer championship at Sugar Hollow Park in Bristol, the Virginia High Bearcats taking on the Graham G-Men. That's at 6 o'clock tonight, and that'll be in Bristol, Virginia. So you're up to speed with baseball and softball on the national, the college, and the local scene here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Quick break. We'll be right back. We are live again at Champion Chevrolet, and it's Mr. Dietrich in the house. We'll get Mr. Dietrich to come over and join us coming up next year right after this break. We're live at Champion Chevrolet, show number 754, the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
This Father's Day weekend, man-made thunder rumbles into town as Bristol Dragway hosts the Fitzgerald USA NHRA Thunder Valley Nationals. Witness the raw power of the fastest sport in the world. Every ticket is a pit pass. Buy before June 1st and save, including free tickets for kids 12 and under on Sunday. Treat Dad to the heart-pounding power of 10,000 horses. This Father's Day weekend, visit ThunderValleyTix.com or call 423-BRISTOL.
Do you have an asphalt driveway or parking lot? Do you see cracks in the pavement? Well, maybe it's time to call Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance for a free estimate. You see, with the freezing and thawing of winter, cracks form in your pavement, allowing water to get under the asphalt, eroding the stone base underneath, which could lead to your pavement buckling. At Bracken Pavement and Asphalt Maintenance, they can fill the cracks, keeping water out of the cracks. And if you don't know for sure, hey, it's worth a call and a free estimate. Phone number is 323-8726. 323-8726. Residential driveways, commercial and church parking lots. They pave, they crack fill, they can stripe new and restripe old. Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance at 323-8726 or on the web at brackenpaving.com. The savings continue the month of May at Max Medicine Mart in Kingsport. All Gaia and Solgar products 20% off at Max Medicine Mart. Solgar producing fine quality nutritional supplements for 71 years, and Gaia both 20% off in the month of May. No coupons, no limits. Every time you purchase any and all Solgar or Gaia products in the month of May, automatic 20% off. Open 7 days a week, right down the street from Dobbins Minute on Center Street in Kingsport. Again, Solgar and Gaia products 20% off the month of May at Max Medicine Mart. Max Medicine Mart, Center Street in Kingsport. Make tracks to Max.
GM employee pricing, 20% off MSRP. Wow, with these savings, now's the time to purchase a new Chevy at the area's #1 Chevy dealer, Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City. 18 Silverado Crew Cab All-Stars, 11,000 off MSRP. 18 Cruisin' Malibu LT, 20% off MSRP. 18 Trax and Equinox, 6,000 off MSRP. Shop us online 24/7 and remember our Saturday parts and service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. No, I'm not Andy Dietrich. We're about to bring him on the screen here on show number 754. We're live at Champion Chevrolet inside the studio, inside the showroom at Champion Chevrolet. We can't see you. My little light's in the way.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Well,
you don't want to see me?
No, let's turn it off. We can put it right here for the time being. There we go. There he is.
I forgot.
We don't need a light.
I had to reintroduce myself to you.
Yes, you did. We kind of had to have me and you and Tim had to have a group hug. Cletus wouldn't hug this morning. He wouldn't do a group hug.
He's not a hugger.
No, Cletus is not. He just didn't want to do a group hug. Didn't want to sing Kumbaya either. But
he's like maybe a fist bump.
Taters. Boom.
Yeah.
There you go. People ask me why I say taters because up home it looks like a big old bacon tater. Taters. So, how are you?
I
Good?
Guess.
Yeah.
Taters, whatever he is.
There you go. When are we going? All right, before we get into matters in hand, Champion Chevrolet. When is this big concert of this guy named Ed Sheehan or Shuhan or whatever?
I'm not going. I don't know.
You're not going?
No.
Oh, Tim's going.
I don't know. I'm not sure Tim's going. He went last year.
I thought there was a concert Ed Sheeran. What's this guy's name? Sheeran.
Tim, are you going to see Ed Sheeran again?
Oh, it was last year.
He'd love to.
Oh, I thought y'all.
No.
I thought.
I'm going to see Taylor Swift.
That's right. I'm sorry. You're going to see Taylor Swift.
Into that with the wife and kids.
Drug me into keyword. That's right. I knew one of them was going to a concert.
There.
Where's Taylor Swift going to be in concert?
Nash Vegas.
Nash Vegas, baby. So, all right.
Is it the Bridgestone? Is that what that place is?
Bridgestone Arena.
I think that's where
Taylor Swift. Do you know who's going to warm her up on that group? That warm-up act? Do we know?
I have no idea.
No, does it matter to you?
Maybe Ed Sheeran or something.
Because the key is he's being drugged to the Taylor Swift concert. So
I don't know.
I can honestly say I've never.
Boys or NSYNC, I don't know.
I've never heard the first Taylor Swift song that I know of. Maybe I've heard it, just didn't know it was her.
Shake it off. Shake it.
Never heard the first song. Could care less.
You call yourself a radio personality?
No, I don't anymore. I'm just an old country boy that. No, I don't.
I'm really disappointed in you.
Okay. Because I don't know anything about Taylor
I'm gonna have
Swift.
to play some Taylor Swift songs, I guess.
There you go. Yeah, you need to. Do you have a CD I can borrow? I listen to her.
No, I don't have a CD.
Okay.
But I've got songs like in my library where my daughter has downloaded them,
mm-hmm.
and I can let you listen to them. You could say, "Oh, I probably downloaded." No, she did.
So they any good? Or do you think she's any good?
Yeah, I think she's extremely talented. Did I tell you the story on her?
No.
I thought I did at this show. On this show. I haven't been on the show in about 9 months.
Yeah, it's been a while. Had to give you a visitor's packet.
Before Taylor Swift was big.
Yeah.
I guess her manager or dad, they were trying to get her to go places and play and get noticed. And I don't know how many years ago this has been. I would guess probably 15 years. I would guess is when she first started. She was at the Bristol Motor Speedway trying to. I guess her manager to convince them to let her sing the national anthem or play before the race.
Right.
And they decided they hadn't heard of her, and they decided that, probably wasn't a good fit right now at this time. Well, they said some of the employees that still work there said that she was walking up and down the hallway playing her guitar.
Trying to get somebody to listen to her.
No, just singing to herself.
Just singing herself.
Just walking around, and they remember her
from doing that
in the Bruton Smith building up here.
Wow. That's a pretty neat story.
Talking about missing out on
Yes. Missed
if
that
they
one.
had given her that opportunity, she may come to every race, sing every national anthem. Who knows?
Who'd have said? Who'd have thunk it? Yeah, well, I can tell you it's kind of a similar story. I went into the Red Pig up here one time. You know where that's at?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this has been years ago, obviously. And I walk in to get a gallon of tea on a Saturday, and the lady says, shh, shh, shh. You see who that is back there? Well, it's a guy with a baseball cap with his back there by himself, watching the TV in the corner. I said, no, it's Kenny Chesney. But don't bother him. I said, okay, I'm not going to bother him. We'll get this gallon of tea. And, well, everybody wants to bother him. I'm thinking, I look at it, there's not a soul talking to this guy because he's an unknown. He's at East Tennessee State. He's just getting started. So I got my tea and left, and I thought, and then one time, way back in the day, when Wendy's was there on Center Street in Kingsport, it's now a Chinese joint, I think, but a Chinese restaurant, walked in there and sat by himself, and that's when he used to have Food City Family Race Night at J. Fred Johnson Stadium.
Boy,
way back in the day. Here sat Jeff Gordon by himself eating a bowl of chili. He's a little guy with a little number 24 ball cap on, and that was so.
I've got one for you.
Go ahead.
Boy, we're on a roll now.
Yeah, we are. Go ahead.
When out of college, my grandfather owned Gate City Ford in Gate City, Virginia, and that's near Carter's Fold, and up that way where the Carter family and Johnny Cash and all of them had homes and everything. Well, Johnny Cash came in and bought a truck from us while we were there.
Cool.
Wrote a check out, John R. Cash. But June was in the dealership all the time, and I guess with her sister. But June, you knew it was always June. June liked to wear like colorful silk clothing and head scarves and things, and she was in all the time. She'd just walk around just a dealership, little old Gate City Ford. Back to the Jeff Gordon thing, I think maybe it was his first championship. I was in New York City with my parents, and we were at a Broadway show, Beauty and the Beast, and everybody got up during intermission, and I stayed in my seat. And I turned around, and about 5 seats over behind me was sitting Jeff Gordon. This is when he was married to Brooke. Brooke had gone to the bathroom. He was up there because that's when they still had the championship, the awards thing at the Waldorf in New York City. And he was up there because he had just won the championship. Well, I saw him, he saw me, and I was like, I'm not going to make a big deal. Everybody was up, but I was sitting by myself, and then he was sitting right behind me by himself.
Did you come around and go, hey, Jeff? He said, hey, Andy, how you doing?
I was a Ford man then, so I didn't really have anything.
Oh, no, you couldn't. No.
But I'm Chevrolet now.
Bow tie all the way.
Yeah.
Hello, Kurt Rose. Kurt Rose watching the show. You know Kurt, don't you?
Oh, yes, I know
Chris
Kurt.
Dixon, Renee.
Lawyer in Kingsport.
There you go. Connie Helms says, hi, Tom. Love your show. Thank you, Connie. Ricky Walters, Elizabeth, and some of the folks watching. And
Kurt's a good customer, too. He sent his mom and his brother over here to buy cars.
Love his mama.
Oh, yeah, she's sweet.
She is a sweetheart. So, all right, Champion Chevrolet. We've got my man sitting over here, Steve McCauley from FCA. Carmichael's going to join us. Dave Angi's going to join us. Got to get hold of William Yarber. Whew, got a full show here. Show number 754.
Did you see his videos on Facebook yesterday?
No.
Indian Trail. They were doing a slip and slide. I guess they did tarps down the backside of 100-foot long, and they got into a little plastic pool. I guess that's soap and water in it. Baby, there's kids in trees still stuck over at Indian Trail. So if the fire department's listening, go pick them out of the trees. But you watch them. They plop down in this little pool and then
Zing.
Zip down that hill. I saw them holding. Isn't there like a water pond overflow thing down at the bottom down there? Okay.
Had a big time? Had a great time.
Yeah.
See, that's the kind of stuff I like to do that.
I'd like to see you go down and do that.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Live, and then I'll film you.
Put me in the pool and go down. So they got in the little baby pool. That's what they wrote it. It's like a soapy. Yeah, and that. Yeah. Oh, baby, I'd love to do that. That'd be fun. I like it. So, you swim, by the way? Are you a swimmer?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you go off the high dive with me sometime?
Oh,
Would
yeah,
you?
Yeah.
All right.
I haven't been off a high dive in a long time because most
Fishery Park in Irwin. That's where I always go.
Most of these places, because of insurance reasons, have done away with them.
Yes, they've got one out there. So, I told you the story what happened to me out there. Can I tell you real quick?
Belly flopped off of it.
Well, I go off the high dive, and I did a can opener, and this little guy's, 15, 16-year-old kid as a lifeguard. I thought, well, God, what did I do wrong? So I got up out of the water, blew the whistle, I go around and said, yeah, man, what happened? He said, dude, that's the biggest splash I've ever seen here. Can you do that again? That was awesome. I want a video on my phone. I'm thinking, no, I'm not going to go do it again. He said, man, there's a big mushroom of water. He said, you must weigh a lot. I said, yeah. It's called girth, young man. So,
girth.
Anyway, so.
Girth, pure muscle.
Oh, no. Well, actually, it's a sleeper. This one, I go like this. I go in the water. It's a sleeper, not a can opener. So I just put my hands across my window. Boom. Lots of water. Oh, it goes nuts. That's it. Yeah. There you go. There you have it. And my Raiders ball cap. There you go. Moving along, GM employee pricing, 20% off MSRP. Tell me what's going on here. The final day of May, rolling into June. And we got lots going on here. And we got activity, and we like it.
We've got $11,000 off all crew cab all-stars when you finance with GM Financial. We've got 20% off MSRP on 2018 Cruise and Malibu LTs, and $6,000 off 2018 Trax and Equinoxes. The Trax and Equinoxes you do not have to finance with GM Financial. To get that, we got, let's see what else we got. We've got 120 used cars of every make and model known to man. I've got heavy-duty trucks right now. I've even got diesel used trucks out there. I've got 5 cargo vans, big full-size cargo vans. If anybody, a business is looking for one, they're white and they've got the None of these have the bins in the back, so they're just like a clean canvas, so you can put whatever you need in the back depending on your business. So I've got those used. I've got Equinoxes, I've got used Traverses, I've got used Suburbans right now. Trying to think what else I've got out there. I've got it. Just check out our website, championjc.com. It gets updated every night at midnight. If we trade for something during the day, it shows up at midnight that night when the clock changes. So our website is always changing. Stuff gets sold at automatic, it gets pulled off at midnight that night. But got 350 new cars on the lot, 120 to 125 used. Service department hours have changed on Saturday. I need to tell you that. Now open at 7:30 in the morning on Saturday, and they close at 1 p.m. We did some research and just saw during that time of the day was our busiest, so we've staffed ourselves better during that. We cut out between 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock because we weren't doing a whole lot. And so 7:30 to 1 is now our service and parts are open on Saturday during those hours. ChampionJC.com, you can schedule service, you can buy parts and accessories, you can make appointments, look at inventory, get financed, do it all. You can chat with our salespeople on there, you can email through there, you can, if you've got a tablet or it's on your phone, you can hit a button straight on our website and it'll call us. It can do it all.
So this is the last day of May. What was the trend for the month of May? Did you do trucks? Did you do Corvettes? Did you do Equinox?
We sold a few Corvettes. Let's see. We still sold a bunch of trucks. One thing I noticed, the midsize, the Colorado, has been hot this month, and also Equinoxes. So not so much big stuff, more of like, the Equinox, which is your sort of midsize SUV without a third row seat, and then the Colorados, which come in extended cab and crew cab, have been super hot this month, which is the Colorado's a little bit smaller than the Silverado, about the same size as the Tacoma.
Summertime, do folks buy new, do they buy used, or mixed bag?
It's a mixed bag. Usually this time of year, from now until July, we see a lot of SUV sales, used minivans, and Tahoes and Suburbans because people travel. Mm-hmm. And they think, well, it's a good time. We're going to the beach. Let's trade in our van that we've had for 5 years and get something newer. Rates are still low. Financing is still relatively easy to get with approved credit. It's a really good time to buy. We've got right out the window too. That's a full electric car called the Bolt, the B-O-L-T. So you get about 238 miles range on that on a full charge. So it's a neat vehicle. It's quiet. You sort of almost have to learn to drive again. It's got paddles behind the steering wheel, and you learn to use those instead of using the brakes with your foot. And by using the paddles, it regenerates electricity to keep the battery charged longer.
It's a Bolt, B-O-L-T.
B-O-L-T. The Volt, which is this white car right out here, it has a 4-cylinder engine that acts as a generator. So you've got the battery on it. When the battery starts to run out, the generator engine kicks on and keeps the battery charged. So you could actually drive all the way across the United States and fill up if let's say you got to a hotel one night and there wasn't a plug-in there for it. So you could fill that up with gas and drive it until you found somewhere to charge it. The fully electric vehicles, you have to sort of plan your trip around charging stations if you were going to drive across the United States. But every day charging stations are being added, especially in bigger cities, and it's coming here too.
Certainly makes sense to do that. So good stuff.
Coming, it's future.
It is future. It's about to be the present.
Yes.
There we go. Good man. I'm glad I'm back.
I'm glad you're back.
Yeah. Missed you. Really did. Wasn't the same not seeing Andy and Tim. On that note, we'll take a break. Okay, we're going to roll to the break. We'll be right back. Steve McCauley joins us next. We're live here at Champion Chevrolet. And coming up, we got Carmichael. We've got Dave Onge. We've got, somebody else I've got on the show. I can't remember who it is. Got to look. We'll take a break. We'll be right back, though. Coming up next, Steve McCauley on the Tom Taylor Sports Show live at Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Motor Mile in Johnson City. At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications and 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE master technicians here. With the ratio, it goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop, so it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back on the Tom Douglas Sports Show, show number 754. Tomorrow we'll be live at Food City in Blumpville on the $5 Friday sale. Can't wait to have a big time there. Of course, full shows next week, and we'll just keep on keeping on. We were off almost a week for the state baseball tournament in Smyrna, Tennessee, the Elizabethton Cyclones. And again, Ryan Priswell named today as the Coach of the Year. So we'll make sure it's the Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News, Super 22 Coach of the Year, and well-deserved. And so what a class act this guy is, and Steve knows firsthand what a class act he is. Oh, great guy. And so Elizabethton gets down and wins their first tournament game in 60 years. Greenville wins the whole enchilada. It's interesting how things work. Elizabethton beat Greenville 9-4 in the regional championship at O'Brien Stadium in Elizabethton, but it's the way the ball bounces, they say. So, or they always say that's baseball. So anyway, two great teams, two great schools, two great communities. I know you and Larry are involved in both of those, right?
We are, yeah. It's part of our region. In fact, I live in Elizabethton. My son goes to Elizabethton, to T.A. Duggar. He'll be going to the high school in a couple of years. And Larry was an educator over in Greene County, and he's real involved in Greenville. And so, yeah, both of those ends are in our region of FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And it got me thinking about Coach Presnell. He is a Christian who is a coach, and there's a big difference. And I think that's one of the reasons he's so successful. It's probably the main reason, but I mean, because he's what we call in FCA, he's a three-dimensional coach. A one-dimensional coach is what we kind of grew up with. They didn't know any better. Just
old school.
Just work harder, rub some dirt in it, which is fine. I mean, there's a place for that, but you got to go beyond that to the second and third dimension. Second dimension is psychology, and in the 90s, people were sending their kids to sports psychologists to get their batting averages up and things, But there's an even deeper level, and that's the third dimension, and that's the heart and the soul, and that's where FCA comes in. We're not interested in trying to help coaches with the first two dimensions. They've got that covered. But we want to come in with that third dimension, which is the spirit and the soul, which is the true essence of who a person is. I mean, Tom Taylor is going to live forever somewhere, and this,
that's it.
Thank God, this isn't representative of who Tom Taylor really is. No, I'm kidding. Because this is wearing out, right?
Yeah.
And me, I'm looking at myself saying,
we appreciate Steve being on the show with us.
But no, these bodies are wearing out and getting older, right? And they're going to decay and they're going to die one day. And, and that's the gospel. You dedicate this show to the man who hung on the cross. And he did that so that when these bodies die, they can be resurrected in newness of life like him. That's the gospel. And we don't have to do anything for it. We accept it as a free gift. And that's what we do through sports. We get that message out through sports, which is amazing. We get the best. I mean, talk about a brand.
A platform.
You guys were talking about NASCAR, and I mean, Chevrolet, all these great. I mean, I'm looking at a Corvette right there. What a great brand. I mean, everybody knows what a Corvette is all over the world. But we've got the brand of the gospel of the grace of God through sports. FCA, that Fellowship of Christian Athletes, where coaches and athletes come together around Christ, share Christ. They know him better, and thus, because they get to know him better, Christ better, in their relationship with him, they can make him known to others. And that's what discipleship is, and that's what we get to do. We do it through camps, we do it through golf tournaments, banquets. Anytime we can gather people together around sports and share with them, and that's what Coach Ryan does. He is a Christian who is a great baseball coach and a man of God. He's not a baseball coach that, oh, by the way, I happen to be a Christian on the weekends, or I go to church, or I went to such and such a church. That's where my family grew up. No, it's about a relationship with Christ, and out of the overflow of that relationship with Christ, we can reach others with that gospel message. And so, I just appreciate you being such a great advocate of what we do, and I know you believe in it, and you love the Lord. And
here's the verse of the day. And while you're getting ready to read that, I want to tell another quick story about Ryan Presnell. I was telling Tim about it before I went on the air. Tim Covenhaber. They lose down there they're all running together now. I guess the last Thursday, a week ago today, we lost to Riverside. Lose 7-3. We're eliminated. He takes his kids, Coach Presnell, Elizabeth in baseball, takes his kids down the left field. They're down there for a long time. And he was just talking to them because I'm sure they were hurting when you lose. The way they lost, just the season's over. It's tough way to end the year. So they get out on their knees and they pray, and they're down there for a long time praying. Well, then they get up, which I thought was the coolest thing, and they get up from the left field and they walk across the outfield to the right field area, and there is Riverside's team that just beat them, getting ready to go to the state championship the next day against Greenville. And so they go over and get down on their knees, and you can see, and there's pictures. I think somebody took some pictures of. They got their arms around each other. The coaches are standing, got their arms around each other, and they lead a prayer for both teams. And so I asked President when he finally got up at the press box, I said, well, what was going on? And I knew what was going on, but it was a setup. He said, well, we went over and prayed for him. We just said, look, it's more than wins and losses. We got beat. The train rolls on, basically, and if we can't win it, we want to pray for you guys that, we wish you the best luck that you can bring home the championship. But again, they just went over and prayed for him as a unified body.
Class, isn't it?
I thought,
class.
What a class act, Ryan Presnell.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
People have given up. You hear people in our generation and up, and I'm not putting them down, but it's just you kind of get jaded and you say, oh, the young people today are the ones. It's like it's too far gone. No, there's God's got his people out there, and God's working through them, and those kids will never forget that moment. And that'll be more powerful. Actually, if you think about it, that moment with their coach and with the other team in prayer, they will remember that when they're our age. They won't remember the championship and all and the score and all that, even if they had won, as much as if they're going to remember that moment that touched their heart. And then they can take that and it'll fuel them for a long, long time. So,
talking to Steve McCauley, we're going to get ready to talk about FCA camps here in just a second. Also, something really cool going on at Indian Trail here in Johnson City. But the verse of the day I read at the start of the show out of the book of Isaiah.
Isaiah 40, it's 28-31. It says, "I am the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. Those who hope in me will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint." Amen. Isaiah 40.
There you go.
Beautiful.
FCA camp, tell me what's going on. This is a special, we talk about everything going on during the school year, but I think this is me. I know a lot of people's lives have been changed over the years that I know of by going to FCA camps.
Yeah.
In the summer.
And in a way, we talk about shifting gears. That's all we do. People think, school ends and we just take 3 months off. No, we shift gears. I mean, it's like going into overdrive. Let that clutch out. And we've got kids going to camps. We've got basketball camps. We've got golf camps. We've got team camps. We've got leadership camps. We've got volleyball camps. And we've got there's a running camp in Georgia somewhere. I just got an email yesterday. We've got FCA staff all over the country, all over the world even. And there's even international camps now where they're going on mission trips and making that a camp experience where these kids can go to a third world country or a developing country, and they can use sport as they may not even know the language, but if they can use a soccer ball or a basketball, or I heard that they went to Uganda last year. A church helped fund them from Middle Tennessee. They went over to Uganda and they built a swimming pool on a mission trip, and they used swimming as a way to share the gospel. And now that's like the community center of this town in Uganda. It's like everybody wants to come to the pool. And then this year they were going back to add basketball courts, and the kids love it. How much does a basketball court cost? We can afford that, and it's a mission tool. We go over there, and so we have that here. We go. We have the Indian Trail Camp this week. Coach Nutter and Coach Lane and others, I want to give them all credit because they've come together. They feed the kids. They've got about 50 to 60 kids coming out every night this week. It's a little Tuesday through Thursday because Monday was a holiday, but tonight's the last night. It's at Indian Trail. It's from 5:30 to 8:30. They have lunch. They have dinner. They play games. They have instructional time, and then they have a guest speaker, and then they break off into huddle time. So they're there for 3 hours, and they have a great time. Last night they had that 100-foot long slip and slide. Tonight I don't know what they're going to do, but they've got great stuff planned for those kids, and they've even got backup plans for inside if it rains or whatever. And very well organized. The speakers have been just fantastic. They've got a theme verse. It's Galatians 1:5. It says, to God be the glory forever and ever, amen. It's a simple little verse, but they're able to use that verse to share principles of life with these kids, these middle school kids, and through sport, through games and sport. And some of the games are goofy and stuff, but that's what the kids love. And so we're doing that at Indian Trail. That's local. And then we're also doing a leadership camp at the end of June down at Johnson University near Knoxville.
Yeah.
And then we've got at Bryan College. There's a basketball team camp. We've got Happy Valley boys and girls going down to there. So we've got some really neat stuff going on. There's a football camp at Carson Newman. That's in July. There's one at Tennessee Tech. All over. If people want to see the FCA camp activities, they can go to fcacamps.org. fcacamps.org.
fcacamps.org.
Yeah, that's our national camp website, and there are literally hundreds of camps on there. They're listed by state, by type, and you can go to a camp. And if people want to go to our local leadership camp at Johnson University, they can just contact me through fcatricities.org. That's our local website. I'd be happy to speak with them. We're getting kids signed up now. We've got several student leaders going to our camp at Johnson University. It's a middle school camp and a high school camp. They're two separate camps on the same campus for that week. And so it's a great time where we can invest in those student leaders. And what we say invest because they come back to their campus in August and they are equipped to be a student leader, a representative of Christ on their campus through FCA. So it's really a great discipleship model.
Good stuff. Again, it's all going on. Again, the website is fca.org, fcacamps.org. Either one of those, you can find out more. We're going to have him on starting cranking back up all the way through the new school year and have a big time again with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Appreciate you, my friend.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for all you do.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You're a good man.
Take care.
Good man, Charlie Brown. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll bring in Carmichael. NBA Finals Game 1 tonight. He's going to break it down for us. Do the Cavaliers have any kind of a chance? Everybody's saying there's not a chance. It's LeBron versus them. We'll see. And then you also have the round 2 last night of the Stanley Cup Finals. Interesting little bit of ice conditions at Las Vegas with 100-degree temperature, 100-degree heat. Oh, getting a picture? Here we go.
Great, thank you.
There you go. Did you make it? Did it work?
Yeah, I hope so.
There you go. I always appreciate what Steve does. He always likes and shares when he's on the show, and I thank him for that, too. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll be talking to Carmichael here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Welcome to the Mini Morning News Show, where we are so excited about Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis for breakfast that we've minified the news.
In real estate news, tiny homes for those who like everything within arm's reach.
In culinary news, micro food, because, small plates.
In entertainment news, this year it's all about the mini-series.
In pop culture news, mini everything.
Because, aw. All right, thanks for listening. Now go put some mini in your morning with the chicken you love for breakfast. Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis until 10:30 a.m.
Back live with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. There he is, my buddy Carmichael. It's been a while since we've had him on, but we're glad to have him back, and he is a plethora of sports knowledge. Good afternoon, my good friend. How you doing?
I'm doing great. At least it's dry for a little while. And I live I call it bi-coastal because I live in North Carolina and work here. Literally in Black Mountain, Asheville area, we have had so much rain. It has rained from Sunday afternoon until late last night. There's flooding in the entire North Carolina region. We've not had any flooding in Black Mountain, but to the east of us, toward Lenoir and toward Old Fort, there was. South of us, there was a tragic accident where the two gentlemen, we watched Channel 4 News in Greenville, two gentlemen were killed when a tree fell on their vehicle on Monday. Just really, it's been horrible weather there. If we had as much rain here in Johnson City as we had there, I'd probably never play another softball. It'd be a while before I'd play softball and soccer. So
Well, our rain level, I read, we're 6 inches above normal, so that's what kind of rain we've got here. So we've got, and it'll come in handy later in the year when it gets hot and dry. But yes, it's been very tough.
We're still looking for more rain. It looks like we're going to get some more this next few days.
So that plays havoc with you sitting there making schedules, right?
Yes, I mean I've lost. Our soccer season was supposed to finish last Thursday night. I've got 4 games I'm trying to play tonight. I'm actually getting ready when I leave here to go walk, check the field, see if we're still in good shape there. We've lost the last 2 nights of rain with softball. Little League has had some issues with the city's Little League baseball tournament, and we have a huge softball tournament at our complex this weekend, and I have youth softball going on this weekend. So it's like it just is a crazy time when we have weather like this, and the teams are like I'm the one that wants to play more than the teams because I have to sit here and reschedule. I'm now up to, when I get through tomorrow, last night, I'll be around 70 reschedules in the last couple of weeks.
We're talking to Carmichael again from the Johnson City Parks and Rec. Hello, Kyle Barkley. I believe Kyle's in, I want to say Liberty or Anderson, South Carolina, watching the show. Thank you very much. We're at Champion Chevrolet, the #1 Chevy dealer in the state. Nobody sells more bow ties from Mountain City to Memphis than Champion Chevrolet. The NBA Finals, going to get his take on that coming up here in just a second. 2018 Silverado Crew Cabin All-Stars. You walk through these doors here, the Bristol Highway Motor Mile, Johnson City, you will immediately take $11,000 off MSRP on the 2018 Silverado Crew Cab All-Star. $11,000 by walking through the door. 2018 Trax and Equinox, same thing, $6,000 off in MSRP. And so that's what's going on here. And also, you can take 20% off the list price on a 2018 Cruise and Malibu LT. The old Malibu, that's an old standby from, oh, yes, the old, what was it, a Chevelle Malibu. My buddy had an SS 396, and that thing would walk the dog. You could watch the gas meter go psst back in the day, but, man, he could flat squawk the tires. I know SS 396 Malibu back in the day in the hills of West Virginia. Game 1 of the NBA Finals, LeBron James and the boys, they wrote them off against the Raptors, they wrote them off against the Pacers, they wrote them off against the Celtics, and now they're writing them off against the Golden State Warriors. I know that's your team, so legitimately, does the Cavaliers have any kind of a chance to A, win, or B, not get swept?
Definitely not. They're not going to get swept because, number one, Golden State always picks a game, usually game 2, to just lay an egg. And I think that, to me, if I was maybe putting a couple of quarters on this series, I would probably take Cleveland in game 2, even though it's in Oakland. When you've got somebody like LeBron, to me, I think he now has established himself maybe as the greatest player of all time because he can do things. Maybe he's not the scorer Jordan is. Maybe he's not the rebounder Bill Russell is. Maybe he's not the passer that Magic is. But he's almost as good as those 3 players all together. And that's why I think maybe now we're watching the greatest player at 33 years old, has played in the NBA since he's 18 years old. So much tread on his tires. And it just seems like he's getting better.
Well, and you look at this fact, too. This is what blew my mind. In Game 6, a guy plays 46 minutes. In Game 7, he played every minute. He was out there at his age, and as I've said all along, when he walks out on the court, he's a marked man. I mean, everybody knows in the arena when it comes crunch time with the Cavaliers, he's going to start the play, and 9 times out of 10, he's going to finish the play, and yet these guys averaging 35 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists in the playoffs. So when he walks on the floor, he's going to get the ball and they still don't stop him.
When you watch, there was one play last weekend, I think it was Game 6. Cleveland got I think it was George Hill made a steal and started the fast break on the left-hand side. LeBron was coming down the middle. It was 2-on-1. He fed LeBron sprinting the whole way. He feeds LeBron for a dunk. LeBron dunks it. Never stops if you can see it on YouTube, because I'm sure it's there. LeBron dunks it, never stops, starts swinging back the other way. Boston runs the break, coming back the other way. LeBron catches the guy when the guy's going in for a layup. LeBron catches him, never breaks stride in the full running of the court, and blocks his shot. I mean, it was amazing to see that kind of play. Now, Golden State will have to run different players at LeBron, especially if Iguodala's out. That will be a huge loss if he doesn't play in this series, and there's a good chance he might not. A bone bruise, sometimes you don't want to risk that because that could turn into something like a fracture. And maybe they're like, we don't want to, and that could be, you're talking 6 to 8 months. So now maybe they don't risk him. So they're trying to play LeBron. Draymond will get some time with LeBron. I think Klay Thompson will. I think they'll start bringing guys off the bench like Looney and just running different bodies. That's what the Celtics did. Now, they couldn't stop him. They couldn't even hardly slow him down. But that was the thing that the Celtics did. Then Golden State's like, LeBron's going to get his 40. We're just going to have to stop everybody else.
Well, you and I have been together for many, many years. We've traveled together and called a lot of games together. So if I'm thinking about this morning. If I'm a member of a Cleveland Cavaliers team and I hear LeBron, I'm not knocking the guy, but if I'm any kind of a competitor, I'm going to think, you know what? I'm going to step my game up because all they're hearing about is LeBron. I'm on this team too. I'm going to let them know that he's not the only guy. That's not a negative, but I would think to a certain point, if you have any kind of competitive juices inside of you, his teammates are going to go, you know what, we got to rise to the occasion because all they're saying on this basketball team is LeBron James. So that would motivate me to get out there and give it everything I've got and play as hard as I can to show them that there's more on this team than LeBron James.
And that's what happened in Game 6 and Game 7. Jeff Green stepped up. Jeff Green's been a guy, he's a great story. I mean, he's had the issue with his heart over the years. He was come out of Georgetown. He's a good story. Picks his game up. Tristan Thompson, it's like, Tristan Thompson could be such a defender and give Golden State some problems on that other end if he would just, but it's like Tristan Thompson doesn't know what days, you don't know which, it's like J.R. Smith. J.R.'s another fine player. When Golden State won 2 years ago, J.R. Smith was a big part of that. And they've got to get those guys to pick up their game like they can pick it up. And they got to hope Kyle Korver can shoot it. And they got to hope maybe they can get some contribution off the bench from the guys they got at the trade deadline. Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr., George Hill, Rodney Hood. Those could all be, if those players can step up their game just enough, they've got more depth to me than Golden State. Golden State's 4 guys. And maybe, and especially without Iguodala. If they get Iguodala back, then this series, I think it can go 6. And if it goes, Golden State doesn't want to go to the 7th game. They're playing, to me, they're playing with house money. Both of them are. Golden State should have lost that series. I mean,
to Houston?
If
you have Chris Paul, it's probably a different thing.
Chris Paul, but it's like somebody somewhere has to tell. You can't go 7 of 44 shooting threes. You sometime you can't miss 27 straight 3-point shots. You sometime have to say, I've got to take the ball to the basket. I've got to give myself a chance. Take it to the basket and hope to draw a foul instead of sitting out there shooting threes, just jacking up threes like it's. And Golden State falls into that same trap. There are times they'll pass up. I saw it last week. Durant will pass up a layup and kick it out to Curry or Thompson for a 3. And sometimes that hits, and that's like a big bomb. It's like a home run hitter in baseball. Sometimes you won't take that. That big hitter won't take that single or double that they give to you. You're just still up there swinging away. Well, that's why you end up hitting 240, 230 with 40 home runs. Yeah, you might hit 40 home runs, but you're a 230 hitter. So, that's Golden State can play, same kind of game. I think it goes 6 games. Golden State wins in the end.
Talking to Carmichael, we're live at Champion Chevrolet, so that's the NBA final to me. The key to the whole thing is the Cavaliers bench. If they can get any kind of productivity, it's going to be an interesting series. If not, because LeBron cannot carry this team by himself. He has, but just with the talents over there, Golden State, the 4 All-Stars. So Cavalier bench to me is the key. If they can be any kind of threat, any kind of productivity coming off the Cavalier bench, could be an interesting series. Otherwise, it's Golden State.
And they got to get Kevin Love back.
And then
he's out tonight, I think. He's still in protocol, concussion protocol. So I wouldn't expect him until probably he might play Sunday night, but I really wouldn't expect him until next Game 3 in Cleveland.
And then before we switch off to the National Hockey League, going forward past this season, LeBron free agent. I know Chris Paul's already trying to court him in Houston. Does he stay in Cleveland? Does he move on?
He's out of Cleveland. Last year when we got to this time, we talked about this, you and I did. I still think the front runner's L.A. He's got his homes there. His kids been in school there. I think L.A.'s number 1. I think after that, I think it's L.A., Philadelphia, provided they can get this Brian Colangelo thing fixed and behind them quick enough. I think Houston's 3rd. I'll tell you another place that might be. Cleveland's still a possibility, but I don't think so. The other place is Miami. Go back and play with his buddy his best friend D Wade wants him back in Miami.
Spurs?
No, but I think if LeBron ends up in Philly or LA, I think Kawhi Leonard joins him. I think somewhere Philadelphia's got enough assets to make the trade. I think Kawhi Leonard's possibly play his last game in San Antonio. I just think the bridges have burnt through everything that's happened this year, and I think right now they're trying to see what the best deal they can make for him.
Talking to Carmichael again, the Colangelo story is kind of a crazy thing. Give me a 30-second synopsis of that before we get into the NHL.
He used burner Twitter accounts, which means somebody did set up several fake Twitter accounts. Some of the Twitter accounts were following NBA writers, people associated with the game, and some of them were following his own son's high school basketball team, the players on the team. And it's like there was disparaging comments made about certain players, and even a GM, the Toronto GM, that was where Colangelo had been previously. He lost his job there. Also, there was a disparaging remark about Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union back at the Olympics in 2008, which Gabrielle Union, who's his wife, who's an actress, said, I wasn't even there, and Dwayne Wade made a crack about it. And a lot of people think it's kind of been a running joke, because a lot of NBA people have kind of made some jokes about it, but it's not. If you find out that he's had anything to do with it, I don't see how he can survive in Philadelphia, just because he's lost that trust with some of his own players.
We're talking to my man Carmichael. We are live again. We are at Champion Chevrolet. Dave Angie joins us coming up at the bottom of the hour. So switching gears, the National Hockey League Stanley Cup Finals. Capitals go into Vegas. 100-degree heat. Apparently the ice itself was not in real good shape last night because of the heat. And the Capitals take it, and they're now tied at a game apiece heading back to Washington.
Yes, I mean, I think this is going to go 7 games. Las Vegas, this is one of the greatest stories in American sports. A team that was, at this time last year, wasn't even a team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
great point.
And now they're in now they're 3 wins away from winning the biggest prize in hockey. And Washington is a great story because of the years they've been struggling to get to the championship. They've got Alexander Ovechkin, who's one of the top 3 or 4 players in the game, who's been one of the top 3 or 4 players in the game over the last 10 years. You got Barry Trotz, former Predator coach, started with the franchise, was there for so many years. The Predators let him go. He went to Washington, and it looked like he was going to get fired if the Capitals had lost one of the opening round series, especially when they were down to Columbus. But now they're in the finals, and now last night it was just a great performance by Brandon Holtby, the goaltender for Washington. I still think Washington wins this. Vegas has been a great story. They skate really fast. They're a team of guys that just have not given up since day one, since the beginning of, this was a team a lot of people think, well, they really took hold after the tragic incident that happened in Las Vegas earlier, and the Vegas Strong. But this was a team after it was put together last summer in the expansion draft and free agent signings, that a lot of people inside hockey thought, this might not be a bad team this year, just because they had guys wanting to work hard, wanting to skate hard, and the style of game that they play, it's a fast style of game. It's a style of game that the NHL has changed to. It's a style that really gave the Predators, if the Predators had made it, we've not been on the air together since the last time the Predators and Winnipeg played their series. And it was a style that gave Nashville trouble. They beat Nashville twice. It's your style that gave Nashville trouble all year long.
We're talking to our buddy Carmichael. We are live again here at Champion Chevrolet. So National Hockey League goes back, as we said, to Washington for Game 3, the next 2 there. And so NBA Final starts tonight again, Game 1 at the Oracle Arena in Oakland between the Cavaliers and Golden State. Calm before the storm, college football, not that far away. I know a lot of the teams got their guys going through summer workout programs, and they're doing their camps, and they're doing their tours, the media tours. So it's kind of quiet, but it's really not quiet. We had the SEC meetings down in Destin, Florida this week going on. So what are you hearing in college football right now?
Magazines are starting to break out. I know I picked up Athlon last week, and Lindy's, the college football magazines are now starting over the next, and Street and Smith's. The odds on some of if you choose to partake in those things, the odds on at least Game 1, Week 1 games are out there. Also, some of the top games of the years and the projected win totals. I know they came out Sunday. Tennessee was projected at that time at 5.5 win. You could go over or under that. So we'll see how that. I don't know if that has changed. It was excitement last week. Hearing a little bit of college football. Same. It's kind of like the usual suspects are there: Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan. Washington possibly being a surprise team getting in there. So the excitement's starting to build. I mean, that's we're still really 2 months away from practice starting.
Hearing a lot of buzz about Notre Dame. Is that legitimate?
That's legitimate, I think, a little bit. I mean, the buzz is there, but they lost 2 guys that were drafted, I think, in the first 10 to 15 picks in the draft on the offensive line. They lost their star running back from last year. I just don't see how it's real. Michigan has been one. They picked up Shea Patterson, the transfer from Ole Miss, that was a starting quarterback that had a really good year last year. If Shea Patterson can establish himself as a starter in Ann Arbor, this is a Michigan team that could maybe sneak into the national championship picture. You've got Ohio State, you've got Penn State, 3 excellent Big Ten teams that could get in there. Alabama, Georgia, I think it's going to come down to that. Auburn possibly in the SEC. I think those are the 3 teams in the SEC that are really have the biggest chance of winning the conference. Clemson looks like to me like odds on the ACC. I don't know that anybody in that conference can challenge them this year.
Seminoles are kind of in a rebuilding mode after losing Jimbo Fisher and trying to get kind of regroup and I think come back with a little bit more vim and vigor. And they've had, of course, losing a quarterback last year kind of unraveled in front of our eyes. So we'll see what the Seminoles do.
And they open up with Virginia Tech in Tallahassee on Monday Labor Day night.
There you go. The Hokies. Looks like they got the horses in the barn to have a pretty good run.
Yes, they could possibly make a run definitely make a run at winning their division. Now, I don't know if they've got anything for Clemson. A lot of people think this. Clemson had 1 quarterback transfer who was the backup last year. They're saying that the Bryant kid that was a starter last year, he's no lock to have the job this year. That they've got a freshman coming in that's the real deal. That some people have said this Clemson quarterback class has potential being one of the best quarterback classes ever. Ever. And I'm like, okay, that's
pretty strong. Yeah.
That's a pretty strong statement, yes.
We're talking to our buddy Carmichael. So you look at the college football landscape, and it's the same old. You're right. Harbaugh under pressure at Michigan. The heat's on.
A little bit, not much. I mean, I think they want to see a little bit more. I mean, definitely they want to see him beat Ohio State. If he ends up 10-2, beats Ohio State, I think people will be happy. But I think really I think they're expecting a Final Four appearance this year. If you have Amazon TV, the channel where they have the different TV shows and stuff, they do a show called All or Nothing, and they've done it with the Rams, the Cardinals. This year they've come out this spring. The pro team was the Cowboys. I'm about halfway through that, but I'm also about halfway through. They did Michigan last year, and it's interesting. He takes those kids in the springtime. They go someplace different, and it was a learning the year in 2017 they went to Rome, and they learn, and it's not just all about football. They did do for spring practice. They did do some practice there, but they also took them around and educated them. And I thought, what, that's a good thing, because these players are just not only players, they're students, and most of those players may never get a chance to go to someplace like Rome, get a chance to see or meet the Pope. Those are things that are just, to me, life lessons that you learn, and I think other schools ought to think about doing. Treat the players more than just players, more than just a commodity out there to sell out your stadium every Saturday.
We're talking to our buddy David Carmichael, Johnson City Parks and Rec. Love having this guy on the show. He's with us as often as we can get him on, because I know he's very busy at the Parks and Rec. What's some of the goodies going on before I let you go?
We've got these are some senior services screenings that we've got going on. Deb Fogel, friend of ours for many, many years. Deb is our senior service manager. Next Thursday, June 7th, physical functioning screening. Physical therapy students from ETSU will do a functional screening, which includes strength, flexibility, and vital signs and balance. You just need to pre-register at the Senior Service Center, at the Senior Service Office. I'll give a phone number after I finish these. You can call and do that. The osteoporosis update, check about your bones and things. That's going to be on Tuesday, June 5th from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. Impact on stress on your health. I think we all need that. At Tuesday, June 12th from 10:30 to 11:30, it's a class that will talk about how stress can be for your health. And the hearing screening. And I know that's another one sometime. I probably need to sign up for that myself. Free hearing screening will be provided by ETS, East Tennessee Hearing Center. It'll be on Thursday, June 14th from 9 to 11:30 a.m. If you're 50 and older, it's a free service. All these, and that's to me a great thing, especially if you're 50 and older in the area, to take advantage of this. You can get more information on this and other senior service programs. Call 434-6237. That's 434-6237. Or look on the Park and Recreation website, www.myjcparks.org. We're also taking registrations for our summer tennis program. It begins this coming Monday. It's $50 for a city resident, $55 if you're a non-Johnson City resident. It's a 6-week program, 4 days a week in the morning, from 8 to 9:15 or 9:30 to 10:45. Come as often as you like during the 6 weeks, and it's open for all ages.
There you go. Great report, my friend. See you next week.
No, I've got my little one has got her awards at school. We're in North Carolina. We still have 2 more weeks of school. We go to the 13th. So next Thursday morning about 10 o'clock is her award ceremony at school. So I'll be.
See you in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir. See you
there
in
you
2
go.
weeks.
All right, good job, my man Carmichael. Johnson City Parks and Rec will be right back right after you hear this from Chick-fil-A. We're live at Champion Chevrolet on show number 754, the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Welcome to the Mini Morning News Show, where we are so excited about Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis for breakfast that we've minified the news.
In real estate news, tiny homes for those who like everything within arm's reach.
In culinary news, micro food, because, small plates.
In entertainment news, this year it's all about the mini series.
In pop culture news, mini everything.
Because, aw. All right, thanks for listening. Now go put some mini in your morning with the chicken you love for breakfast. Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis until 10:30 a.m.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import and Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard, the brand most recommended by pediatricians and dermatologists. Our smart bottle turns blue in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. You bring the sun, Blue Lizard brings the magic.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400, your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Welcome to the Mini Morning News Show, where we are so excited about Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis for breakfast that we've minified the news.
In real estate news, tiny homes for those who like everything within arm's reach.
In culinary news, micro food, because, small plates.
In entertainment news, this year it's all about the mini-series.
In pop culture news, mini everything.
Because, aw. All right, thanks for listening. Now go put some mini in your morning with the chicken you love for breakfast. Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis until 10:30 a.m.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, let's go to the phone. He's there, our buddy William Yarber from, of course, Max Medicine Mart. Make tracks to Max. Today's the last day to save on Solgar. Good afternoon, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, Tom. How are you today?
Just fine, sir. Appreciate you being with us. And again, I know you're busy there at Max at the end of the month, and new month kicking in tomorrow. It's going to be crazy. It's normally crazy anyway. Max Medicine Mart's is busy, and that's a good thing. So wrap us up with Solgar. What's been the hot seller you got today, the last day of the store closing, to save 20% on Solgar, and what's been the big seller under that line this month?
Yeah, I would think, just judging by sales, I think the tart cherry is probably going to be the top one that we've been selling at the sale of this month. They did a really good job with it. It's a really strong extract. They've got 90 vegetable capsules for $29.95 before the 20% discount. A tart cherry can be used for gout. It can be used for just inflammation overall. So it's great for anybody that's very active, works out a lot, plays a lot of sports. It just helps take down the swelling in the knees and the rest of the joints as well. So that's probably the number one reason that we're selling so much of it. It's getting warm outside, people are getting active, and it's really helping relieve some sports pain.
We're talking to William Yarber. So today's the last day to save again on Solgar and also Gaia. Tell us about Gaia again.
Yeah, I mean, we can't talk about Gaia without talking about turmeric. They do, in my opinion, the best job with turmeric, and to reflect our sales, I think that kind of shows too. It's a really unique product. They pair black pepper with theirs, so it actually helps with absorption. So anybody that's taken turmeric before and maybe not got the results they wanted, they might want to try some of the Gaia brand. It's a little different than some of the other guys. They have a few different blends. So they've got a pain PM formula, so there's a few herbs in there along with it to help you sleep. They have the original pain formula, which a few other herbs in there like Jamaican dogwood to help with pain in the muscles. And then there's also the joint formula, which has boswellia, which is frankincense gum to help with joint pain. And then they've got just your traditional turmeric and black pepper. So they kind of got a turmeric for everybody, but they seem to do the best job with theirs. It's really great, high quality product, and they're just right over in North Carolina, so they're not too far from us either.
We're talking to our buddy William Yarber. So starting tomorrow, a brand new supplement goes on sale, 20% off. It would be Blue Bonnet. Tell us about that, because I know those fly out the door too at Max Medicine Mart when you put them on sale.
Yeah, for sure. Blue Bonnet's a great company. They're made right here in America. They get their name from the Blue Bonnet Texas flower. So that's where the Blue Bonnet name comes from for the company. So they're right out of Texas. They kind of got their hands in a little bit of everything. They do herbal supplements. They do great minerals. And they also do a few sports supplements too. So you can pretty much come in and get anything you need Blue Bonnet wise at Max. Got a 20% sale going on. good time to take advantage of it because it won't go on sale again until really late in the year. I think that's maybe one of our last ones of the year. So great stuff. They do a great job with their multivitamins. They also have Herbline. They have B12, which is great. There's little dissolvables under your tongue. They also have chewables. So it's a great little midday boost of energy for anybody, or a really great sport replacement too. So we sweat out a lot of our B vitamins as well.
We're talking to
great for anybody that's active.
We're talking to our buddy William Yarber at Max Medicine Mart. Make tracks to Max. You do on Center Street in Kingsport, one of our great sponsors. So 'tis the season. Mosquitoes are out there. Poison ivy's out there. Poison oak's out there. Bee stings are out there right now. Tell us some of the things you have over the counter to help us with all those that are going on here in the spring of 2018.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as far as mosquitoes go, we got into the line of the Parakeeto all natural insect repellent. They're really neat stuff. Their bracelets and anklets have these little gel inserts that repel all types of flying bugs and pests. And they also have a gel that you could put topically on the wrist, the back of the neck, and the heel. It's made in France actually, but it's a little new to the store. But we've had really great reception from it. Everybody's really liking the product, so we've got some good feedback on it so far. So, I would highly recommend giving it a try. But we also have the traditional mosquito patches, the all natural. They are really just based with B1. So it's the B1 patch. Got great feedback on those as well. Everybody really seems to love them. You can also do, you can come and get some Blue Bonnet B1 and take it internally and kind of hit it from both ends there too. So it's a great way you can kind of pair them both together. And of course, we also have the Burt's Bees sunscreen and their bug repellent that just flies out of here this time of year. Everybody really loves it.
We're talking to William Yarber on the phone again with us from Max Medicine Mart. Make tracks to Max. So allergy season, it's out there too. You've got the grass, you've got trees, you've got a lot of rain with the mildew. That stops people up with allergies. So what do you have for us over the counter to help folks going on with allergies right now?
We have lots of natural remedies for whatever allergy you're suffering from. We have Bio Hours, which they specialize in homeopathic remedies for allergies. They break it down to have a tree pollen blend, one for pet allergy, and also one for outdoor allergy. So kind of just depending on what you're suffering from, they got a few options can help you out. And then Nat Bio also does a great job with their allergy relief and allergy and sinus relief. We also have a great array of all natural nose sprays to help clear out the sinus passages, and neti pots work really well too. A lot of people don't really use them too much, but they're very effective. They're gaining popularity pretty well here at Max.
Dave Angie joins us coming up here in the News and Neighbor in just a few minutes, talking to NBA, get his take on the finals, what he thinks or who he thinks is going to win the NBA finals and why. We've got NASCAR to talk about. We're going to be following the NASCAR drivers into Pocono this weekend in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. So we'll talk a little NASCAR and whatever else is on his mind. I'm sure he wants to talk a little Michigan football. Before I let you go, William Yarber, Father's Day in a couple of weeks. What kind of goodies, what kind of gifts do you have at Max Medicine Mart for old Dad? We did the same for Mother's Day, so let's make it an even playing field and promote what you've got for Dad for Father's Day in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we've got a couple cool Stonewall Kitchen barbecue kits. And one of the bacon centric, so you got a maple bacon annoli, a maple bacon onion jam, and a boozy bacon barbecue sauce. So it's kind of a cool little grill kit for Dad. And we also carry the Badger brand Badger Man Care. So they do a really cool job with some of their man care products they have that we carry here: shaving balls, beard balm, shave soaps, shave brushes, aftershave, beard oil, pre-shave oil, aftershave tonic, and all those products are completely organic, all natural. So it's a great way to give something good to Dad.
Absolutely, give something to old Dad because he deserves it. Coming up in 2 weeks, it'll be Father's Day, 2 weeks from Sunday. Hey, great report as always. Before I let you go, website. Give me the social media places we can find out more about Max Medicine Mart and the hours you're open, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. Follow Max Medicine Mart on Facebook, and we're always giving away great prizes, having some raffles going on, some like, share, win. Right now we're doing a like, share, win contest for Barter Theater, so that's kind of a cool thing everybody can be a part of, and that's going to be done bi-weekly until August the 2nd, so we're going to start that about first week of June, second week of June. That's a cool little contest you can get on Max Medicine Mart's Facebook page. Also, you can like us on Instagram. And, come on in the store, too. We're open 8 to 7 Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 on Saturday, and 1 to 5 on Sunday.
You got it. William Yarber.
Max all week.
Make tracks to Max. Great report, my friend. Appreciate you, and I'll talk to you soon, all right?
All right, sounds great.
Yep, good man right there. Appreciate him again, William Yarber from Max Medicine Mart. Make tracks to Max, and you do, and we can't thank you enough. Every time we're over there, we have a contest, and we give away stuff, and folks respond from all over the place, and we appreciate that. We'll be there next month, of course, as today's the last day of May. Hello, Jerry Keller. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you very much. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. We'll check in with our buddy Dave Onge. We're live here at Champion Chevrolet for a few more minutes. Show number 754 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Okay.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import and Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. Blue Lizard Australian sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard, the brand most recommended by pediatricians and dermatologists. Our smart bottle turns blue in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. You bring the sun, Blue Lizard brings the magic.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400, your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Welcome to the Mini Morning News Show, where we are so excited about Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis for breakfast that we've minified the news.
In real estate news, tiny homes for those who like everything within arm's reach.
In culinary news, micro food, because, small plates.
In entertainment news, this year it's all about the mini-series.
In pop culture news, mini everything.
Because, aw. All right, thanks for listening. Now go put some mini in your morning with the chicken you love for breakfast. Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis until 10:30 a.m.
We're back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Let's see if this can get Dave Onge on the screen. Our cameraman, Chris McCall, says Lucy to the left and Nope, probably need to bring it up. So.
Got my tie?
Yeah. Okay, Lucy, keep going. Keep going. A little bit more. Go ahead. Yeah, get another little. Put it down a little bit more. Keep going. Keep going up. Hello, Texas. Keep going up a little bit more. A little bit more. I want to get champion in just a smidgen more, and boom, right there. You can tighten it.
How are we?
We're perfect. Now, just don't hit it with your leg. So I did that one day, had it set perfectly, and I hit the tripod off my leg. Had to start over. No, thank you, sir. Awesome. He is the man. Chris McCall, love him to death, great guy. Appreciate him helping us out here at Champion Chevrolet, where you have $6,000 off the 2018 tracks at Equinox as soon as you walk in the door. $6,000 right off the top. Silverado Crew Cab All-Stars 2018, $11,000 off MSRP when you walk through the door. It's pretty incredible savings. And so also the Cruises and Malibus are marked down 20% off MSRP, which would be manufactured suggested retail prices. Of course, that's what that stands for. So we are here. We are live at Champion Chevrolet. New service hours 7:30 to 1 o'clock on Saturdays. And you can shop them online at championjc.com 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Dave Onge's in the house. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Fantastic, man. Good to be here.
Haven't seen you for a while. Glad to get you back in the saddle. Just a couple of good old boys talking sports. So, NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Cavaliers. We hear all about LeBron. Talked to Carmichael about it earlier. Do the Cavaliers have any kind of a shot? Is this a sweep? What do you think? Let me go. Number one, can Golden State, will they win? Number two, will it be a sweep? Number three, do the Cavaliers have any chance?
I don't think it'll be a sweep, but I think Golden State wins this thing. You have a chance because you have LeBron James if you're Cleveland, and that I think puts them, in a situation where any given night he's going to be able to play well enough, and a couple other guys on that team will be able to fill in around him and play well enough to get him over the top and get a win, especially at home. So I don't think it'll be a sweep, but I'd be surprised if it went longer than 5 games or 6 games. I doubt it'll go to 7. To me, what's interesting, Iguodala is the guy that Golden State's missing, but of course Cleveland's missing Love. And they're pretty comparable players, but the difference is all year long Golden State showed they had a lot more depth than Cleveland does. Cleveland, you take Love out of the equation, LeBron has to be spot on every single night, and he's got to have a couple guys step up and play well with him. And there's just not very many guys in that pool that are capable of rising to the occasion against a team like Golden State and being good enough offensively to get them over the top. Whereas with the Warriors, you can have guys out, you can have guys dinged up a little bit, guys in foul trouble, and there's going to be somebody else that's going to be able to step up in that offense and score points. It's just more margin for error for them because they have more depth in terms of quality scoring. So, that's why I have a hard time seeing Cleveland winning it. If they somehow pull it off, it'll be probably the greatest single performance in playoff history for LeBron to be able to take that collection of players and get them over the top to win a title. But I'd have to see it to believe it.
Well, they went through a roster change about halfway through the season. A lot of the guys, they kind of cleaned house and brought in some new guys and let some guys go. And so to do that in the middle of the season, or almost the middle of the season, and to be able to come up with the chemistry to get him to the NBA Finals for his, 8th straight appearance, NBA Finals. So hello, Carter Davison. Hope you're having a great day, my friend. Thanks for watching the show. We're talking again to our buddies. You see, Dave Onge with the News and Neighbors. So if I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers, I told Carmichael earlier, and all I hear about is LeBron James this, LeBron James that. And I'm not putting this guy down, but I'm thinking, I'm a competitor. I'm on this team. I want to contribute. So if I'm one of those other Cavaliers, I'm going to bust my tail to make some kind of a statement, me as a player, to let these folks know that there's more to this team than LeBron James.
Yeah, definitely. Those guys, they're all professionals. They're all,
sure.
Everybody's in the same boat there, and they really have been disrespected quite a bit by everybody. I think rightfully so going into the finals. Even though they got there as a team, it's taken LeBron James doing a tremendous amount, a historic amount of scoring and everything else to get them there, and there have been a lot of nights when LeBron's played well enough for them to win and nobody else showed up. They've had series go long well beyond what they should have because there's nights that guys just don't show up and play. So, but to their credit, I think everybody getting through a Game 7 on the road at Boston, I think gives them a boost of momentum and a boost of confidence, as a team. Like you say, the team's been remade, on the fly as the season's gone on. There's guys on this team who, played a key role last year in the finals. The Cleveland's been there, I think, as a team 4 years in a row now. And there's guys on last year's team that were starters and key contributors that got shuffled out in that whole thing midseason. They traded for a lot of guys in the offseason. Isaiah Thomas coming in, the big trade when Kyrie Irving went to Boston, completely remade their team. They didn't like it. They had to change it on the fly. So, Cleveland's a team I think that's still in flux. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they try to match up with Golden State, because in the East, they haven't seen a team like Golden State yet. So I think they have an element of surprise coming in early, because nobody knows how Cleveland's going to try to match up with them.
Going forward, after the season, free agent LeBron James stays in Cleveland, goes to, if he doesn't stay in Cleveland, goes to where?
Goes elsewhere. He's
gone.
That's going to be the end of it. And he brought a title to Cleveland. I think he did what he came there to do. But that team right now is in a lot of turmoil and a lot of trouble. And you look at Kyrie Irving; they couldn't coexist together. So they ship him off, to Boston and get in return a lot of guys that aren't even there anymore. Isaiah Thomas isn't with that team anymore. They had the guy that they traded out to Los Angeles halfway through the season to the Lakers, and they kind of other guys are just riding the bench or not involved anymore. And that would make me uneasy if I'm LeBron James, that the general manager and the people calling the shots in Cleveland are going to be able to rebuild the team around him, particularly when he's getting to the point of his career where he's not going to be able to do this single-handedly anymore. I think he'll be looking for a situation where he can be, it's a little more like it was with Miami, where he doesn't have to be the scorer every night. He can facilitate, he can pass the ball, he's not the focal point. So I think a team like Houston would be a natural spot where he might end up. You throw him in with Houston, and you've got yourself something there. I think he'll handle the ball more. Chris Paul may not be there. Harden will be there to do some of the scoring. Ariza has always been good. I just don't see him staying in Cleveland.
Hello to Crystal Hensley watching the show. Appreciate this young lady. She's with us just about every day watching the show, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us here on the show. We're live again at Champion Chevrolet. Also to Carter Davison, and hello to Jerry Keller and Bill Patrick. Bill will be with us tomorrow. We'll be at Food City in Bluffville for the $5 Friday sale at all Food City locations across the chain. So we want to say hello to those folks. So let me throw out names. You're talking Houston, LeBron James, Philadelphia.
Oh man, that would be interesting. That really would, and that there's part of me that thinks that might happen, because if he stays in the East, it's an easier path, as they've shown this year. This is not a vintage Cleveland Cavaliers team, and they've managed to be able to get through the Eastern Conference because there's really not a lot there. I think Boston's a growing powerhouse. I think you give them another year or two. I think they're really going to be strong. But you look out west and look at all the obstacles out there with Golden State having what they have. There's some teams on the way up out there. In addition to Houston, I think no matter what happens, if LeBron's there or he's not there, they're going to be a great basketball team for years to come. So, staying in the East, which he's done for his whole career, has kind of led to that easier path to the finals, which gives you a chance to win more rings. So, it's intriguing to think of adding him to that young squad. Now they'd have to make some decisions too, though. Who they keep and who they don't. To be able to take on LeBron James's contract, and how does that change the chemistry? I mean, as we saw with Cleveland, you change a part or two out. You take Kyrie Irving out of the equation. You bring in Isaiah Thomas. That completely changed the whole complexion of the team. So you've got to be careful with chemistry. I don't know what it would do to them, but on paper, that looks like a good landing spot as well.
LeBron James, Los Angeles Lakers or Clippers?
I'd stay as far away from the Lakers as possible, because I would wonder how much influence LeVar Ball has over that team. And that's going to be something that LeBron James will have no patience for. A guy that was a backup basketball player, at best, a bench warmer on the Division I level, trying to call shots in Los Angeles, having one son on the team and getting a tryout for another son, you just want to stay away from that. I think that's going to hurt the Lakers for some time, and that decision to draft the Ball kid is going to be, that's going to be something that they pay for a little while with free agents, because nobody's going to want to get in that situation. You look at the Clippers, they've attracted quality free agents. They had Blake Griffin, they had Chris Paul, and couldn't get over the hump. I think there's a stigma with the Clippers, and always has been, that they're just not a team that's going to win anything. So that may keep him out of Los Angeles. And really, honestly, if he's going out west, I think Houston's going to be the place it ends up being.
The other two I keep hearing is Miami and San Antonio, and I don't see them going back and reuniting with Dwayne Wade. I just don't see that, and I don't see San Antonio's got their own problems. Now I'm reading where, there's a possibility Popovich, losing his wife at the end of the regular season. He's really been knocked for a loop, and understandably so. Been married to over 40 years, and so it'll be interesting to see if he's still got the vim and vigor to come back and coach. I've been reading some stuff here this spring that may be the case, that he's not, it's not the same. He's really been knocked for a loop with the loss of his wife, and then Kawhi Leonard that's still up in the air. So a lot of question marks in the San Antonio franchise right now. So we'll see where LeBron ends up. I don't think he's going to stay in Cleveland. But first is the NBA Finals Game 1 tonight in the Oracle Arena in Oakland, the first two there. We're talking to our buddy Dave Angie, and so let's take a look at NASCAR. We're going to be rolling off into Pocono. Two running this weekend, the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series. Of course, trucks are off until next weekend for the Rattlesnake 400 at Texas. So, let's go back and talk about athletes. Whether you like them or not, you got to respect them. One's LeBron James. The other one is Kyle Busch. Whether you like the guy or not, he can drive a race car. He's now last week's win at Charlotte, as we all know, but now has won at every track in NASCAR. So he's 15th in the all-time wins list. People still say he can't drive a car, and I'm thinking, what are you smoking? The guy has swept Bristol twice, 2 weekends in his career. So say what you want, he's looking for another win streak, and this he's the real deal. And he has had 3 Busch Pole Awards at Pocono, 4 top 10 finishes in the last 6 Pocono races. So the guys is going to pick right up. He and Harvick are the two hot drivers this year.
Yeah, definitely. Those two are just kind of back and forth with each other, and a lot of people don't like that. I think we've seen it in the past in NASCAR where you have, a couple drivers get really hot and win a lot of races, and I think that's okay if it's the right guys doing it. I think personality-wise, there's a lot with Kevin Harvick, very popular driver. Kyle Busch, very popular. Well, not popular, but he's a lightning rod. He's a guy that you love him or hate him, which that's good for the sport. I mean, what you don't want are when you come out for driver introductions and you don't hear anything. You want to hear a lot of cheers. If you're going to hear a lot of boos, they know you're there. It means you've done something. And he certainly has. And of course, the debate raging on over, as he gets closer to 200 wins overall between the top 3 series, how that stacks up against what Richard Petty did. That's a good debate for the sport as well. A lot of people talking about that. They say, well, Richard Petty won some of these midweek races, at tracks that don't even exist anymore against really weak fields, and those are counted as cup wins. Or Kyle Busch, the fields that he faces in the truck or Xfinity Series races each week are stronger than the fields and more competitive than the fields that Richard Petty won a lot of his races against. So that's going to be one that's going to be kicking up as the summer goes on, and Kyle Busch wins more races. So I think it's good for the sport to have those two guys winning. Now there's a lot of things in the sport they need to address, and a lot of stuff they need to do in order to kind of get the sport back to where it has been in the past. So we'll see how they decide to go about that.
Surprises right now as far as drivers and disappointments at this point in the season. Who's a surprise driver for you?
Well, I think the whole Hendrick organization is pretty disappointing, because you go into the season, you're expecting to see Chase Elliott, take a step forward possibly, and, because he's just been on the verge. Last year he had so many runner-up finishes, and everybody's saying, well, it's a breakthrough year coming up for him. And then you look at Jimmy Johnson's won a ton of championships, still has Chad Knaus with him on the pit box, and they're not winning, So I think you look at that team overall as being pretty disappointing up till now. You look at some surprises. I think the way Stewart-Haas has run overall as a team with, and Ford in general too. I mean, because there was a time people had given Ford up for dead recently when you had Chevy and Toyota racing for wins every week, and you heard nothing out of Ford almost. So those would be the surprises for me, more organizational than individual drivers. But
top 10 in points going to Pocono this week: Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr. Your top 5. Then comes Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin, Clint Bowyer, Kyle Larson, Eric Almirola. Not a single Hendrick driver. In fact, in points, the first Hendrick driver would see would be 12th in points, Jimmy Johnson. So then Alex Bowman, then Chase Elliott. So tough year right now for the Hendricks team. We're going to get turned around this weekend at Pocono, but that's what's going on there. In the world of NASCAR, again, they'll run the Pocono 400 on Sunday at 2 o'clock for the Cup Series. Then on Saturday, there'll be the Pocono Green 250 for the Xfinity Series at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Ryan Blaney, by the way, the defending champ of the race from a year ago on the Cup Series. We're talking to our buddy Dave Angie. So college football's kind of the calm before the storm. And what are you hearing across the landscape of college football right now?
Well, it's interesting stuff. Whenever the SEC kind of makes their coaches available like they did this past week, you usually get some rumbles out of there and a little bit of, people are looking for anything to write about this time of year, these college football writers, and it's tough when you're kind of in the dead middle of your off season, which is where they are right now. And of course, the stuff about Saban not granting releases to players that want to transfer elsewhere, inside the SEC, and with him coming out and saying, hey, this is a league rule, why are you hanging this on me when it's our policy in this league not to let transfers just sign them away to another team in the league, and I think that, it brings up a larger argument and something that's good to talk about this time of year in college football, which is, do we need a uniform policy among these Power 5 conferences on how they handle, releases of players? And, and they're getting to the point now where they're talking, do players even need to sit out a year when they transfer, particularly after a coach takes another job, which to me, that's always bothered me. Coaches can come and go with a buyout. Players, you're playing for a guy you signed, he sat in your living room, you trusted him the most, so you signed to go play for him. He takes a job elsewhere.
Well put.
And if you want to transfer, that's going to cost you a year. You're going to have to sit out a year, and that's always bothered me. So, there's some of these things in terms of player movement. It's starting to become more common. At Michigan, we got Shea Patterson transferred in. He's eligible immediately because of what was going on at Ole Miss. Going to be a great quarterback and playing this year. That's not the case for everybody, and I think. That's something that they need to look at in college and say it's a reality. Every year we have, whether it's grad transfers or players moving around for various reasons, there's a lot of players on the move. It's true for basketball too. How are we going to handle this now so it doesn't become free agency in college athletics? Or, but at the same time it's equitable for the players who has a coach that they trusted and signed with leave and go somewhere else. So, get to this time of year, you're looking for stuff to talk about. That's where the argument probably will be here over the next few months.
And the headset rule, that seems to be a big controversy at the tail end of these SEC meetings down in Florida.
that one surprised me.
About Saban having all these players on the sideline with headsets, and so now they're going to mandate that there's only going to be an X number of coaches that have headsets. And he said, again, you're taking a shot at Alabama. Well, I guess it's because Alabama has more people on the sidelines with headsets than anybody else, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
Well, you can say that about anything. I mean, innovation in college sports a lot of times
good point.
Gets shot down. If it's not something that's sustainable, or if it's opening a Pandora's box they don't want to open. You could say they're taking a shot at Michigan when they limit the satellite camps. Because Michigan was all over creation, and other coaches, they didn't want to have to do that. When you're Michigan and you want to recruit in the South, you got to get down there and have a presence, and that was a way to do it. Kind of a high-profile way to do it. And recruiting did pick up in the South. We got a few more players than we probably would have, but that's taking a shot at Michigan. There's several other rules you can point to, and it's taking a shot at whichever school innovated and thought that idea up. And the NCAA said, no, we don't want everybody running around doing this. We have compliance issues, all sorts of stuff going on. The headset thing, I scratched my head a little bit, but at the same time, I mean, it's something I'm sure the NCAA looks at and says, we just don't want to mess with this. This is going to be a headache. Let's just get ahead of this and make a rule. So,
what's going on with the News and Neighbor?
Oh man, we have paper hit the streets yesterday. Today's Thursday. These holiday weeks mess me up, but Memorial Day stuff was going on this past week, and we got some good photos. Folks out in the community last Saturday decorating the cemetery at Mountain Home for the ceremony that they had Monday morning. The Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, a lot of volunteers helped with that. There was a group that did a run in Johnson City this past weekend, the Shepherd's Men. They raised money for the Shepherd Center in Atlanta, which this center has a state-of-the-art program to help veterans from the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, any war after 9/11. A lot of them coming back with traumatic brain injuries, and they really have some state-of-the-art ways to help these guys recover from those injuries and kind of get back into the swing of things and get back into society. And definitely a cool deal. They were in town raising money, but there's more information for folks in there that want to know more about the Shepherd's Men. They're a group that they ran in Chicago, Indianapolis, Nashville, Johnson City, and then ended up in Atlanta on Memorial Day. So I've got that in there. Some really good feature stories this week. from Fairmont Elementary, a good story about the principal kind of befriending one of the students because they both love to read. And the young lady I wrote about in that story, set a record at the school for the most accelerated reader points this year. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff, a lot of human interest, and a lot of things going around in the area. So it was a good issue.
It's all good, huh?
Yes, sir.
There you go. Having a good spring so far?
Can't complain, man. It's feeling like summer, though.
Oh, yeah. We went from winter to summer, it looks like. It feels
real
like.
quick.
So, and the little lady over here, she is getting ready to go into 3rd grade.
Well,
wow.
They turned her loose in 2nd grade. So I asked her if she was nervous getting down to the end of school, but I think she had a good feeling they were going to
pass her.
They were going to promote her.
Promote her on. Yeah.
She's moving on up. So
going to
we're
3rd grade.
Hard to believe.
It is hard to believe. See you next week.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, man. Our buddy again, we appreciate him, Dave Onge, again being with us here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. That's going to kind of wrap it up from here at Champion Chevrolet, as always. So it's been a good run, and so I appreciate him coming by. William Yarber from Max Medicine, Mark Carmichael, and, of course, Steve McCauley, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and it all got started, again, with our buddy who got it started. Andy Dietrich, as a matter of fact, got it all started for us, and we appreciate that very much. Again, baseball today, let's run them down for you. Virginia is still playing, and so we got baseball and softball going on today. In baseball, for Southwest Virginia, the championship today of the Region 2D tournament, it'll be Virginia High and Tazewell at 7 o'clock at Boyce Cox Field in Bristol, home of the Bristol Pirates. That's at 7 o'clock tonight. So good luck to the Bearcats and the Tazewell Bulldogs playing the Region 2D Baseball Championship for a right to get to the big dance. And then also in softball tonight, you have Lebanon's Lady Pioneers taking on Richlands. That's going to be at John Battle High School in Bristol, Virginia. That'll be at 7 o'clock tonight in the Region 2D Softball Championship. Also, you have in soccer tonight, you have the girls' Region 2D soccer tournament. Gate City's Lady Blue Devils taking on Richlands in Richlands at 7 o'clock tonight. And then the boys' soccer Region 2D championship at Sugar Hollow Park in Bristol. The Virginia High Bearcats and the Graham G-Men out of Bluefield, Virginia. Those two will be going at it tonight at 6 o'clock at Sugar Hollow Park in Bristol. Hey, we're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. And be sure to like and share the show. Don't forget, you're running out of time, as we will tell you one more time. Boom, here it is. To register to win 2 tickets, 2 day passes to Dollywood. We'll give those away on Monday. All we need is your first name, last name, your email address, and how to get a hold of you, of course, with a phone number. And as we said, we have, 6 states represented, well over 100 entries. So we will let you know, put them in the computer and let the computer spit out their winner of the weekend and let you know Monday who the winner is for the tickets to Dollywood. Again, these are 2 one-day passes to be used anytime between now and the end of the park closing in, I guess it'd be New Year's Day. They close for the 2018 season, so you can use them anytime. Summer and the fall, Christmas time, whenever. So get your name in the hat and good luck, and we'll pull the winner and let you know who, the computer pulls the winner and let you know who wins on Monday. All right, we're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. We're going to regroup and rejoin you tomorrow in Blountville. We'll be at Food City in Blountville, having a big time for the $5 Friday sale. Looking forward to hanging up there with my buddy Steve, and big Florida State Seminole fan. I'm sure you'll have a lot to say about the Noles here in the off season. So we'll be there tomorrow. Bill Patrick's going to join us from the Concrete Jungle, the King Sports Speedway. Got a lot of guests lined up for tomorrow, so we're looking forward to that. And again, we'll join you there tomorrow to wrap up this short work week, with Memorial Day this past Monday, of course. Short work week as we wrap up show number 754 from, again, Champion Chevrolet here in the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City. We will rejoin you tomorrow again at Food City in Blountville. Until then, for Tim Copenhaver and Andy Dietrich and all the folks here at Champion Chevrolet, this is Tom Taylor telling you, as always, win or lose, be a good sport. So long, everybody.